Hollywood is ending. Hollywood is ending. Red trunks on the beach, but the trucks can't roll. Regulations choke the sand, stories lose control. Baywatch tried to stay, but the cost ran too high. Now reboots flee to Vancouver under foreign skies. 73,000 jobs gone since the bubble popped. Streaming dreams turn to dust, the valley's been stopped. Unions, taxes, red tape piling to the roof, while Atlanta, London, Budapest play the golden goose. Talent still here, the lights still gleam, but the cameras roll where the money's green. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is. The dream factory's bleeding out, sealing its own lid. Brass and anvils fall silent on these empty lots. Exile to the east, chasing foreign shots. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is. The empire's crumbling, but the stories persist. From the hills to the exile, hear the final hiss. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is. Beetlejuice in Britain, Spaceballs down under. Scrubs in BC can't afford the thunder. Georgia's drying up, UK's got the Bacton deal. California's rebate, just a week appeal. Next Detroit in the making, crews out on the street. Florists and restaurants feeling the defeat. Riders, grips and sparks are watching the flight, while politicians argue through another night. Talent still here, the fire still burns, but the soul's moving on, no bridges left to burn. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is. The dream factory's bleeding out, sealing its own lid. Brass and anvils fall silent on these empty lots. Exile to the east, chasing foreign shots. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is. The empire's crumbling, but the stories persist. From the hills to the exile, hear the final hiss. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is.
100 years of glory, now a ghost in the machine. Soft power fading, chasing that subsidy dream.
Federal credits, tariffs, too little, too late. The barbarians are at the gate. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is. Raise the black flag, watch the sunset on the biz, but the tales will live on in the circuits and the mist. Movies aren't dead, Hollywood is.
Hollywood is ending. Hollywood is ending. Hollywood is ending.
Hollywood is ending.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome back. Hollywood After Dark, whatever. Holy crap, guys. It's getting bad out there. That's why the stream is hyperbolic to some extent, but also not really. We're going to be talking about that tonight. It's kind of crazy. You know, like right now we seem to be in this weird, pardon my voice. I've had a sore throat all day. It's hot as balls here in Washington. But we've had this weird kind of situation, where we're seeing what appears to be like the rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes in regards to the box office. I mean, definitely because of movies like Obsession and Backrooms, movies that were made on a shoestring budget, that are coming out and they're outperforming the big dogs. They're outperforming everybody, and it really goes to show you that audiences are kind of in a different place now. And Hollywood is going to have to come to some kind of reclamation for that. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. They're going to learn the wrong lessons. They always do. We'll talk a bit about Hollywood trying to go after, what's it called? Fucking Reddit and shit. That's a thing. Take a look here at the chat. It's Hollywood ending again. Always ending. It's sorry, again, my throat. It's the movies aren't dying. Like the movie industry is not dying. Make no mistake, right? The movie industry is going to live on. You're going to get your new stories. That's not going away. But the Hollywood that we knew 20, 30, 40 years ago, the Hollywood that is lionized, the Hollywood that we grew up idolizing, that's gone. That's dead. That's never coming back, right? And there's a number of factors. There's a number of factors as to why that's happening. And a lot of it has to do with just cost of living in Los Angeles. But then again, movies haven't really been filmed in California for quite some time. I remember back in 2009, Terminator Salvation time, there was a whole bunch of shit happening in New Mexico because that was where the best tax incentives were. And if it wasn't New Mexico, it was Louisiana. And it was Georgia, North Carolina. Georgia became the Hollywood of the East Coast, and even that's starting to dry up. People cannot afford to shoot movies here in the country. And why is that? Well, look, the cost is too high. You have the, a livable wage, at least for the crew, which is needed. Okay. You need to rent out the space, which is needed. You got to pay the permitting, which is needed. You got to pay for all the materials, which is needed. And then the biggest one is you got to pay all these upfront costs for these fucking producers, because that's where a lot of the money is going. A lot of the money is going early on to producers, right? They're getting their cut up front. So yeah. Wait, hold on here. So what was that DC stream going to be about? I don't know. I didn't really feel like talking about DC tonight. I was like, I didn't think about talking. I didn't really care about talking about DC necessarily. I mean, look, Supergirl, from what I read, is looking for $60 to $75 million opening weekend. I mean, it's got that one shot in between Toy Story and Minions, and Toy Story is looking to pull in $175 million next weekend. This weekend, fuck, dude. Right? Like $175 million this weekend is what they're talking about. And then that's going to hold over through the course of the week. So I don't know. Are Gen Z people going to put down Obsession for a hot minute to head on over to fucking see Supergirl? I don't know. No place in the U.S. is cheap enough. You can't shoot Star Wars in Alabama or something. I mean, you probably could, but the incentives there, it's the incentives. Alabama doesn't have the industry or the infrastructure to even remotely pull in that kind of business. All right. They don't even have the money. Like, they don't have the money to be able to do all of that. Canada, fucking Belarus, fucking Romania, fucking all these Eastern European countries. Yeah, they can offer very cheap, maybe not incentives, but they can offer a lot of cheap crews, a lot of cheap locations. Where was it? The 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was filmed, I want to say, like Belarus or something, or Belgium or something like that. It was shot in Europe, and it was meant to look like Texas. And it did. It looked like Texas. So there's that. Did I see the new... Oh, did I see Disclosure Day? No, I did not. I worked, dude. I've been training new employees. And so I've been working like really long hours. So HBar's here. You're going to watch Obsession when it hits VOD. It's reportedly going to hit VOD like next week or something, or is it next week or next month? I think with Toy Story 5 coming out, and it's going to knock Obsession down. They might be, gearing up to put it out by the end of the month. But if Obsession continues going, I could see them keeping it in there longer. So let's see here. Rational for 5. Thank you, buddy. Thoughts on Michael on his way to reach 1 billion at the box office, who critics have egg on their face? Yeah, I mean, critics always have egg on their face. Actually, did you see the report today? Did you see the report about Rotten Tomatoes and how I think it was one guy, had come out and basically said you can turn it into like a prediction market thing. Let me see here. Okay, so it was an argument, or sorry, it was a. I'll show you guys this here. Hold on. I mean, as for Michael itself, yeah, like the movie hasn't made $1 billion yet. It's on its way, but it still needs to pull in like $80 million worldwide to hit $1 billion. That's a tall order this late in the game. Let's see. People think that Indy Neveretti is Italian for some reason. I mean, with the name Navarrete, right? I say just Navarrete, but if it's Navarrete, it's Navarrete, I guess. I can understand that. She has some Italian features, but she's Hispanic and Australian, right? I don't know. I mean, either way, pretty mid, But then again, she's like 25, so I'm 44. Like, yeah, I have to look at her. She's being mid. Can Michael beat Oppenheimer? No, I don't think so. Oppenheimer had the Barbenheimer thing going for it. We got to remember. Barbenheimer was a key factor. That's why I don't know if the Odyssey is going to pull in that kind of money. Okay, it's at 942, but 60. Yeah, it's still got to hit 60 million exactly. No, I haven't seen anything this weekend. I've just been working. My kids are out of school officially today, which is good. Is Michael Jackson more famous than Spielberg? I mean, Disclosure Day is not going to hit $1 billion. Obsession beat Mando. Yeah, dude, a lot of movies beat Mando. You guys got to remember, Mandalorian was done as a way to kind of like take the heat off of Star Wars Starfighter. I keep talking about this, but like for some reason, people don't listen to me. I don't know why. They should. I know what I'm talking about. The Mandalorian, it sucks that it didn't do better. It sucks that Masters of the Universe hasn't done better. It sucks that like all of that stuff has happened. But at the end of the day, The Mandalorian was a low-risk investment for Disney in order to put Star Wars back in theaters. The amount of money that they will quote-unquote lose at the box office, they've already made up in merchandise. You know what I'm saying? It's like Obsession might have beat them domestically at the box office, but they're still splitting that cash with the theaters. And Obsession isn't really selling a lot of fucking merchandise. You know what I mean? And never mind that fucking Curry Barker is on his way to losing his audience. Oh my God. Him and Kane Parsons need to shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Michael Jackson's last album wasn't a hit either. Michael Jackson hasn't had a good album since Black and White. Like he just hasn't. He had like several good, he has great albums, genre defining albums. But Black and White was his last good album. It's like Metallica. You can go to Reloaded track 7. Up till then, good. After that, Saint Anger. We don't talk about Saint Anger for that reason. There comes a time when a lot of bands just kind of run their course. And that is just true for everything. All right. Like that is true for everybody. Here's the thing with that fourth. I don't think it's going to hurt. I don't think Mandalorian doing bad is going to hurt Star Wars Starfighter. All right. I don't think so because Mandalorian is going to do very, very, very good on Disney Plus. Home video sales are going to do very, very, very good. Okay. The movie's going to make the money back and a lot more. It's already made more in regards to merchandising. They're going to use that to kind of springboard Starfighter by bringing out Ryan Gosling, by bringing out, Sean Levy, by bringing up, having it be this big spectacle movie. There's probably going to be a couple big cameos or something. There's all of that. Movie Man here, 47446 says, is Hollywood really dead? Or does the Paramount Warner Brothers buyout have anything to do with it? It does and it doesn't. But like, just to give you guys an idea here, what we're looking at is there's this article here. Hollywood's mass exodus, why film and TV production fleeing LA and what can be done about it. There's a lot of people that are leaving. There's a lot of people that are leaving. And one of the key things about all of that is, well, I mean, it has a lot to do with, again, cost, right? Cost of living, cost of permits, cost of fucking everything. And so that's something that I think a lot of people kind of forget. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people tend to forget, like, how much it costs to live in LA. And it doesn't matter, like, how much incentives you bring to everything. If you're not going to find a way to make rent more affordable, to find a way to make groceries more affordable, to find a way to do all that shit, then no one's going to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a fucking thing. Like, it's sad, it's bad, but that is just kind of where we are. You know, it is not good. But they need to find a way, you know, to do it. That's what they need to do. But I want to go back to what I was talking about before. Damn it, now I lost it. Okay, here we go. All right, so this article here, you know, I figured out how to rig Rotten Tomatoes prediction markets. And it was simple and speaks to the scope of insider trading and the challenge reining it in. All right, so this whole article here is about this guy figuring out how to do insider trading with, you know, using Rotten Tomatoes as a way, you know, to like manipulate the system more or less. Okay. So his argument here, I'm just going to kind of give you the overview because it's a long article. His argument here is this. He says that Rotten Tomatoes prediction markets are extremely easy to manipulate. And that's part of a much bigger insider trading problem across platforms like Kalshi and Polymarket. So what this guy does is he tested a hypothetical scheme involving Scary Movie. And this is the idea. You know, the bet that it's rotten. So the bet on other, you know, on Kalshi or Polymarket was that the Rotten Tomatoes score would land in a certain range. Okay. And then he would recruit a few Rotten Tomatoes approved critics to post strategically timed positive reviews and push the score into that winning bracket. He says it took him about 9 minutes to figure out. Most critics rejected the offer, but some were familiar with Rotten Tomatoes and believed the plan could actually work. So you got to understand, a couple years ago, Rotten Tomatoes wanted to diversify their critic class, if you will, right? The stable of critics that they allowed. And they really opened the door. And they did this, honest to God, for DEI purposes. I'm not even making that up. They did this for DEI purposes. And I don't know if that has failed. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes is still as bad as you might think. But that is, quite frankly, why a lot, you know, like what's going on here. Okay. So anyway, so going back to what I was looking at. Okay. So the reason is that some of these movie score markets are decided by very small shifts. When a film only has a few dozen reviews, 2 or 3 strategically placed reviews can move the tomato meter enough to change who wins the bet. One experienced trader told the writer that it can even be easier to drag down a highly rated movie with last-minute negative reviews. Have you guys ever seen that before, right? Movie starts off high and then starts dropping off. The article also describes a suspicious real-world example involving a critic named Kai Rated. According to prediction market traders, the critic allegedly changed the reviews of Naked Gun and Alien Earth shortly before markets closed, while the Kalshi account placed large bets that benefited from those score changes. The critic then later deleted the reviews and disappeared. Rotten Tomatoes did not comment. So and this is one of those things that I've been saying over and over and over and over and over again for a long fucking time, is that Rotten Tomatoes, the Metacritic stuff, it's all fucking gamed. All right. It's all gamed. It's all nonsense. It's all stupid. All right. And it's all done purely for marketing, right? Fandango owns Rotten Tomatoes. They make money off of people going to Rotten Tomatoes. They make money off of people buying tickets through Rotten Tomatoes, through Fandango. And the only way to become a verified audience member is to buy a ticket through Fandango. You know what I mean? So in this particular situation, this is what I'm talking about. This is a big problem. This is an absolute big problem. You know, and so it's really like this. Once people can bet real money on a review score, a critic is no longer simply reviewing a movie. They are actually like in a position to move the market one way or the other. And considering the fact that a lot of these critics do everything for access, they do everything in order to have that type of approach to the industry or to get that kind of swag, to get those press invites, to get those screeners, to get the stuff sent to them. And you'll see this pop up on certain influencers, right? They'll be like, oh, hey, thanks to blank company for sending me this cool thing, right? You have to ask yourself, like, you have to really ask yourself, are they bought and paid for? And I'm not going to go as far as to say, yes, they are bought and paid for. I'm not going to sit there and make that claim entirely. I think some are compromised, but I think a lot of people are in the position where it's like they like what they do, but they can't afford to do it full time. So this is how they either justify doing it or they find a way to make money by selling the items that they got. This is something that happens in games journalism too, because a lot of those games journalists, guess where they fucking live? They live in fucking San Francisco. How expensive is San Francisco? It's insanely expensive. But those guys live in San Francisco because that is where the market is. That is where the game development companies are. That is where the game media is. All of those things. And the same goes for Hollywood in regards to that kind of stuff, right? For access, right? You know, you got Variety, Deadline, Penske Media stuff is all located there. So many people live and operate in Los Angeles. It ends up showing you precisely, like, I don't want to say like how compromised these people can get, because when they don't have anything else and you give them a t-shirt and they can go online and sell that t-shirt, don't you think like they might start like sucking your dick in order to get themselves in a position to where they can then make the money off of that? Because that's kind of the whole fucking point, right? That's kind of the whole point. You go to an early review and you write a review about it or you make a video about it. Your job, your goal is to earn clicks and views and retention and to make money for that outlet that published your content, whether it is your own website, your own YouTube channel, your own TikTok channel, or anything else. You are leveraging it as a way to get paid. And if you don't get paid, you'll find ways to get paid. And that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm saying. Rational here for 5. Thank you. Says Cauchy and Polymarket let you bet on box office and critic scores. Yeah, you can bet on anything though. And I'm not even really against it, but it's kind of like I am against insider trading. And that's why I think now more than ever, you know, take anything Rotten Tomatoes related and look at it and ask yourself, is this real? And here's the reality of that is you don't know. And then people will say, we'll go to Letterboxd, and Letterboxd can show you. Right? Because those are real people. You don't know that. You don't know that Letterboxd is real, right? You don't know that Letterboxd hasn't been compromised. We just don't know about it yet. This is where I have issues with like the aggregate. I mean, the aggregate should exist. The aggregate can exist. The aggregate does have a purpose, but it should have a very large asterisk next to it where that asterisk says for entertainment purposes only. Right? Not anything to argue, not anything to put value into, not anything to hedge your bets on. And how many people, right? How many fucking people do we find on social media that will be like, well, you know, like the Rotten Tomato score was like really good. Like critics really liked it, you know? And I'm like, yeah, critics liked it. Sure. You know, they got 6,600 critics on there and only like 240 reviewed the movie. All right. That's like fucking, you know, like 2%, 1%. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a minuscule number of those critics that are involved in actually reviewing something. So then you got to look and see, well, who those critics are, right? You know, what outlet are they from? Are they professionally paid to do this? You know, back in the day, we would watch Siskel and Ebert. We would, you know, Gene Shalit, may he rest in peace. Richard, you know, those kind of guys, right? And like we would watch them and get their reviews because they were like professional critics. This is what they did. You know, I've been watching old Siskel and Ebert, and there's one where like Siskel's saying like to Ebert like, "Hey, we've dedicated our lives to talking about movies because we love them so much." And I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it, right? So it's like, at what point do people lose their love of the industry and start, making it more about something else, And so people will say that about me because again, I have a bit of a hyperbolic, headline here tonight, right? It's official, Hollywood is dead. What do we do now? And people are going to be like, "Oh my God, is Hollywood really fucking dead? Oh my Jesus, fuck, holy shit. Is he fucking being serious or is he being hyperbolic?" And the answer to that is yes. Both can be true and both are true, because Hollywood is in a very, very precarious situation. And it's one that a lot of people don't fully understand. Siskel and Ebert were not afraid to change their opinion either. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. If you watch their end of the years, which actually are a lot of fun to watch, they'll often talk about films that they changed their minds on after watching them again or whatever. They were very open about it, and I think that's why that they were trustworthy, and that's why I really liked them. H. Bart's here asking, what did Curry Barker say recently? Couple things. Holy fucking shit, this kid. So, okay, listen. Let me just point this out. Let me just say this, okay? Kane Parsons and Curry Barker are the it kids, right? The Wunderkinds of Hollywood right now. They've got movies that are out doing very well on shoestring budgets that are critically applauded. Audiences love them, commercially successful, and they're basically like kind of setting the fucking tone for so much of this stuff, right? They're setting the tone for where things go next. And as I've been saying on Twitter, Hollywood is going to learn the wrong lesson from this. What I didn't expect was that both Curry Barker and Kane Parsons were also going to be learning the wrong lesson from this, because both of these guys have, for one, come out and just like absolutely shat on their origins. All right. They're like, "I'm not a YouTuber. I do not like that title. I do not like that name. I am not a YouTuber. Okay. I might have used the platform, but I would not consider myself a YouTuber." And I'm like, bitch, motherfucker, shut the fuck up is what shut the fuck up. It's what I would tell both of these kids. All right. For one, you were both literally like in diapers or just done shitting your pants when YouTube actually fucking became a viable platform. All right. Like, I was in film school when YouTube became a viable platform. You guys were fucking in diapers. All right. You grew up with this shit. So YouTube and a YouTuber had a negative connotation for quite some time. It was lesser than in Hollywood. And I know this because I lived there for a couple years when the YouTube shit started blowing up and people started being able to make money at this shit. Okay. And so it ended up being a big fucking deal at the time, but it came with a stigma of the new guard, the young guard is making stuff for social media, making stuff for YouTube. Right. And Hollywood is left still trying to fucking figure out where to go next. Like YouTubers are chasing are anticipating where the puck is going. Hollywood is still chasing the puck. And in this case, they caught two guys at the right time to anticipate where the puck is going. And it's turned out very well. And so what happens? Kane Parsons like, "I'm not a YouTuber." Curry Barker, "I'm not a YouTuber." Like, no, motherfucker, you are. Own that shit. Own that shit, because you wouldn't have your audience, you wouldn't have your clout, you wouldn't have where you are right now without YouTube, right? And the thing is, the audience is fickle as fuck. And if you start downplaying YouTube as where your origins are, if you start sitting there and shitting on that constantly or whatever, you're going to lose your audience, because your audience, remember, they develop parasocial relationships. All right. Parasocial relationships are kind of dangerous. Anything with like Anthony Chabot and me is a parasocial relationship. Donovan's obsession with me is a parasocial relationship. Like that kind of stuff. It's creepy, but it happens a lot. And these people, like, they do, like, there's a lot of them out there, a lot more than we'd like to think. And so when you have things like that, where they come out and they shit on their roots, it's like shitting on the fans. It's like shitting on their origins. And the people that spent time and money and like parts of their lives, watching their content, engaging with their content, enjoying their content, being a part of that community, watching them grow, supporting them, championing them when they were in a position to do all that. And then they are getting told you don't fucking matter because where we met doesn't matter. That's not going to fucking fly. Is there a reason why I use ChatGPT to make all my posts? I don't use it to, I use it to format my posts. And yes, it does. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be honest, I don't give a shit. So what I did is Twitter opened up its algorithm, right? You can go and find all the algorithm. I went through and I had it analyzed and looking to figure out what kind of posts do well, what kind of content does well, and then the best times of day to post and the best way to go about it. And then I formulate, so I take a look at what's going on. So I look at the articles, I do my research, okay? Because, oftentimes a lot of what I research doesn't even make it into the fucking posts because it's just ancillary stuff that I want to have on hand. But I formulate my post, I formulate what I want to say, and then I usually put a lot of it together, and then the AI just cleans it up. That's it, right? So it keeps a format consistent, a style consistent, and but it's still everything I wanted to say. So yeah, absolutely. I don't feel bad about that one goddamn bit. It's using a tool to my advantage, and I've been making some okay money doing it. So there's that. So, okay, fourth here says, I've heard Kane praise YouTube. He said that YouTube wasn't meant to get into Hollywood. Some of his best future work will most likely be there. Yeah, he's not. I will say on his part, he understands more than Curry does about what can happen, right? Things can change in a minute. There's definitely that, right? So Curry is like, I don't know. Curry comes across like both of these guys in their most recent interviews come across as smug, just fucking smug, right? Like really fucking smug. And like and the thing is, you can hear that smugness is from being coached. Right. They've got publicists now. They've got PR people now. They've got people that they've met. I think Kane Parsons made a comment about like he met like all of his heroes, and those people are inside the inner circle and they're going to end up, really guiding them. Osgood Perkins was a mentor on set. Jay Duplass was a mentor at times. Sean Levy, James Wan for Kane Parsons, Curry Barker, not so much any big names. Jason Blum came in after the fact when, they bought the movie and he put his name on it and, he's making a ton of money as a result of that. But, it's kind of funny because like Obsession, just by putting his name on it, is going to make Blumhouse more money than like Night Swim lost, you know what I mean? Like Night Swim lost a lot of money, but like, just one movie that they didn't even make that they bought is going to, recoup all those fucking losses. So no, here's the thing. DJ Rocky, I am in no way misunderstanding where they're coming from on this one. I'm not. They are, you can be a filmmaker first, but still have your roots. Okay, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say. It really doesn't matter what you say. It matters what the audience says, and the audience comes from that department. Especially with Kane Parsons having Backrooms being a YouTube sensation, right? And Curry Barker, putting out those shorts and everything else. I'm not saying like don't sit there and be like I'm a filmmaker. All right, you don't have to sit there and be like I'm a YouTuber who made it good. You don't have to say that about yourself. What you have to say, though, is just like, I acknowledge where I came from, and then don't be a dick about it. That's what I'm talking about, because Hollywood does have a way of changing you. And right now, like I said, both of these guys are the it guys in Hollywood. They can pitch whatever they want. They're going to get whatever deal they want. They're going to get top tier management, top tier agents, top tier publicists, top tier everything. All right, give it a couple years and Curry Barker is going to be directing $100 million movie, right? Kane Parsons is going to get more money for Backrooms too. It's going to go from 20 million to 60 million. Okay, they're going to up everything. And now we're going to see the true metal of these creators. And that's actually one of the things like I feel really bad about those guys for, because they made it. Good for them. Again, no shade. Good for them that they made it. But the biggest problem here is that the system is in such a place now, in dire straits. It's in a flux situation, a paradigm shift, if you will. They they're not what you would consider in a great position. All right, if you were to like just look at it like directly in front of you, you'd be like, that makes no sense, Matt. What are you saying? How can you sit there and say that they're not in a great position? They're in the best possible position. They are, right? But let's step back for again. If you're looking at it through the micro, sure. But let's step back and look at the macro. The macro is Hollywood's in trouble. Okay, right? Curry Barker made fucking Obsession for $750,000 non-union in a union town. A non-union production is going to be one of the highest grossing films of the year in a town where productions are leaving and people aren't being able to find work as a result of that. All right, and you've got the Hollywood Reporter or Variety coming out. I think it's Variety coming out today and writing an article, more or less making an argument for like no non-union films, right? Almost a very anti-union sentiment, when the unions are very much used in Hollywood to protect the worker, which is good. But when you've got like one of the most critically acclaimed movies of the year, the breakout hit of the year, the fucking most talked about movie of the year, the most talked about director of the year, the most talked about leading lady of the year, okay, all of those elements are there, and then you're like, oh, but it's non-union, right? Like that just fucking, again, the in the undercurrent of the industry itself, that won't go over well. And then you've got like media coming out and being like, I don't know, guys, maybe this is the best course of action. That's all. Like that's all I'm saying. It's just like they are in if you go back to the macro and you look at it, it's not good. That's it. That's all I'm saying, is that it's just not good. Good for them right now if they can pull off another movie. But here's the thing, if either one of them, if their next movie, their next big release, right? I don't think that the Curry Barker film counts, that Anyone But Ghosts or whatever. He already shot it. I don't think necessarily that one's going to count because that was done before Obsession. It's what he makes after this, right? It's really the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to make or break his career. Right. Kane Parsons can just do a couple Backrooms movies. And if it starts to kind of teeter off, he can just go back to YouTube and play in that space with all the money and time and everything else. Right. He's like, he can go to college. He can go do all that shit. All right. Like by saying that he can go back to YouTube, he's more or less establishing an exit strategy in case things go tits up. So on that front, I give him like way more credit. Curry Barker, on the other hand, man, this guy's fucking putting his foot in his mouth constantly. That whole situation with the Sally Choi, the art director, and don't get me wrong, I'm not even on her side, right? She agreed to do a job, she did the job, she was paid for the job, and now she wants more. Like, girl, use that, leverage that to get a union gig where you'll be able to get paid more money. You'll be able to have healthcare guarantees. You'll be able to have a retirement plan. You'll be able to you'll be in a position that's better for you as a creative in this industry. All right. You'll be able to go and work on these jobs that will take you over to all around the world because you'll be able to leverage Obsession and the success that it had, right? You can do that. She's throwing that all away too. And it's weird. It's like, is this part of the whole thing of like, I don't even know why. I don't want to say like the Gen Zers not wanting to work. I don't think that's the case at all. I understand people wanting fair compensation. I understand that, but you negotiate the deal. That's what happens. That's how Hollywood works. That's how the industry is done. You negotiate. If you take a lowball offer on a gig, that's on you. If that gig ends up turning out to be a fucking massive hit and you kicked yourself for not getting that fucking cash, then that's on you. So what do you learn from that? You learn to fucking take it, move it, and go forward to the next one, because that's all this job is. That's all any of this industry is going from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. That's what you do. But the problem with the parasocial aspect of social media is that people out there don't fundamentally understand just the ins and outs, right, of this industry. They simply do not understand it. And then they're surrounded by other people who don't understand it. So then you get a whole bunch of confirmation bias and cognitive dissonance, all right, on top of people who have the Dunning-Kruger effect when it comes to talking about the film industry. So they just come across sounding like they know more than they do. And then you've got people who actually work in the industry or have worked in the industry for years telling them specifically, you are wrong and here is why. And they basically put their fingers in the ears and they go la 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 la. Now, real quick, if anyone here knows that reference, post it in the chat. If you get it right, I'll love you forever. Anyway, okay, I just think your use of the word sellout on Twitter was harsh. They both have motivated aspiring filmmakers and people to get excited about movies again. I think that's a good thing. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm also not gonna retract my point. Okay, on the subject of a lot of this stuff, right? Let's say Kane Parsons and the AI comment that was coached. Okay, that was a coached, rehearsed statement that he made. Okay, Curry Barker talking about Sally Choi in the art department. That was a diplomatic but coached response. That's what happened. That's what he did. Okay, that's what I'm talking about here. Is they're now caught up in the studio system, and that is where they find themselves. And good for them. Good for them. But they're learning all the wrong lessons right away because they don't want to sit there and piss off the hand that feeds them. Right? And even though they're the top dogs right now, everyone's looking at them for what to do, where things are going to go next. All right? To be that fucking motivating figurehead, to be that aspiring figurehead, all of those things, which is good. That's also a lot of pressure on those kids. I really hope the same advice is given to Curry and Kane that was given to Timothy Chalamet. No drinking and no hard drugs. Because I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit concerned about that, especially alcohol. Right? Alcohol just ruins lives. Kane can't drink legally yet, but like still, it's like I really hope they don't get involved in that shit and that they sit down and just do the work. Like honest to God, I really do hope that. And I'm just talking about this from shit I saw when I lived there. All right. Like the shit that I saw during the YouTuber boom when I was living in Los Angeles. Okay. And everything else. And so that's why I'm like, I think that ultimately, yeah, they're selling out. Right. Does that mean that they're not going to have good careers? No, I said that. I said they're going to have a good career. They're going to have stellar careers. They're going to have long careers. But it shows you right now that they're getting bad advice. And that's my take on it. Why didn't I make it in Hollywood with my knowledge? Well, okay. So I can actually talk about that a little bit. It's not an easy thing. All right. Like when I moved to LA, I went there to be a writer. And, I quickly learned writers don't make any fucking money, which is true. They don't. They still don't. They went on strike a couple years ago because of that shit. And I started like meeting a bunch of people and, and being like, hey, I'm a story guy. I'm an idea guy. I'm a fucking, I'm a writer, all this kind of stuff. And the thing is in LA, so is everybody else, right? You have to be a multi-hyphenate. You can't just be a writer. You have to be a writer, producer, director, actor, whatever, right? You can't just be one thing. However, that actually bites you in the ass because you have to be one thing. All right. Multi-hyphenates work in some spaces, but if you want anyone to take you fucking seriously, then you have to just be one thing, maybe two, but mostly one thing, because that shows that you are then a person who spends time honing in on that craft. That's a big thing. Okay. So when you're on the outskirts, when you're trying to figure out what to do, right? I went to LA and I was like, I want to make a movie. That's where In Search Of came from. In Search Of was shot after I had lived in LA for a month and a half. We went and we shot the movie. I'd raised $500 in one day by asking friends and family on Facebook. We raised the money, went down, shot the movie, right? Good, bad, or the other, it's there, and I'm like, I'm going to use this, but then, right, it took me months to get it edited. I went through a couple different editors. And then when it was done, I'm like, it's, it's only 72 minutes long. It's not a feature film. I can't put this into festivals, nor do I have the money to go to festivals. And so I put it up online and everything else. And it's been watched like 9,000 times, almost 9,000 times and everything. And I'm very thankful for that. Right. And look, people have shat on it. You know what I mean? Like I think it was Frog Tony. If anyone here knows Frog Tony, he hit me up a long time ago and he was like, "Hey man, can we watch your movie on stream?" And I was all like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "We're gonna tear into it." I'm like, "That's fine. Do you want me there with you?" Like that's fine with me, right? The movie, I love the movie. There are people out there that like the movie, but there's a lot of people out there that don't like the movie. That's fine. So when I was there in 2010 to basically 2013. Okay. And in that time, this is when you had like the DSLR boom. So everybody was buying 5Ds, 7Ds. I think like the TS60 or something that they could firmware hack to make it, or the Rebel 60, the Rebel TS60, whatever the fuck it was, that they could firmware hack to make it like a 7D, right? You had all of these people like doing all of these small productions with DSLRs to get that DSLR look, that filmic look, and everything else. But nobody had any money. And the money that they had was very minimal, and it wasn't enough to live off of it. You had to do a bunch of other jobs in order to get by. But in the process of this, what they want you to do is they want you to also go and join all of these programs, right? Especially if you're a writer. I ended up on the fucking board of directors of the Scriptwriters Network somehow randomly in like 2012. And part of that was like we would go to Universal City Walk or Universal Studios, the back lot. Once a month, they would bring in writers, and people would go and they talk to these writers and everything else. And we would get, to talk to these guys, these producers who were working, but again, what it boils down to is a bunch of have-nots that are looking for haves. Okay. And so the have-nots way outweigh the haves. I would go to this other meetup group every week called The Table. Great group of people. Very nice, but the same thing every week. People who move to LA, who hope to make it, who have maybe like, again, they're multi-hyphenate people, and they just don't have the motivation to get the project done. I saw the same thing in San Diego. It literally is. It's so hard to do because it's so many moving pieces and so many moving parts go into this kind of stuff, and people don't have the money or the time. And that becomes the hardest part. When you go to LA and you're trying to work and you're like, okay, I've got a 9-to-5 job that I've got to do. All right. I got my rent is going up. The gas is going up. I was in LA when it hit $5 a gallon for the first time, right? Like $5 a gallon. This is in 2012. All right. We're all used to $5 a gallon right now for the most part in a lot of these major cities, but like because of what's going on. But like back then, that was big. That was bad, right? That was crazy how expensive it was. My rent was $1,300 a month basically for a 2-bedroom apartment, which now is like probably almost $3,000 at the place I was at. It's insane. All right. Like I remember there was a girl that I met that worked at a small production house and she was an assistant making $700 a week. And I thought that was great. Right. At my job right now, I make anywhere between like $1,200 to $1,500 a week. On average, and like I own a house and shit. I'm still poor as fuck because I'm house poor, but it's like, but like, that's the whole thing is like, it's hard to do. So when it comes to, making it, what does making it mean? Right? Like if you're able to get in a position where you're able to make stuff, put it out there, and then find an audience, you have a better shot. But when I was there, YouTube wasn't being done for things like that, not specifically, because the reason why is people had this fucking stigma against YouTube, because the only way you could get anyone to really notice you would be if you took your short films and you put them up for festival runs first. And only after they made their way through the festival circuit, which you paid for, by the way, would you then be in a position to put these up on YouTube and to share them around. Now, I think people are just posting their shorts on YouTube and kind of letting it run and seeing where that goes. And I think that's actually a lot better. But there's so many restrictions to when you go to LA to trying to get anything done and to get anything seen that like you have to have the money. Like I had friends who would do a feature film. Right? They'd work on a feature film. That feature film would then get sent off to festivals, right? I had a buddy of mine, this is years ago. He did a movie. He got it into a Russian film festival. And then he had to pay to fly himself to Russia and go there in order to, to present the film at the festival, to talk on panels, to try to meet distributors, to try to meet other people, in order to network, in order to try to find the next gig. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, he passed away from cancer a couple of years ago. But in the process of him passing, before he died of cancer, he was in the process of leaving Los Angeles to move up closer to his mom, not too far north of where I'm at, because he was just tired of LA, and he'd been there for 20 years. He had made movies. He's actually the guy. If you go back and you find Far Cry Primal, the live action trailer for Far Cry Primal, he was like the caveman on the trailer of that, right? He was Chris Hemsworth's body double in the movie National Lampoon's Vacation. Like the body double from the neck down who was like in his underwear, like that was my buddy Eric, you know? And so he spent years doing voice acting, doing writing, doing like novellas for whatever. He did everything under the sun. And it eventually got to be too much. And then cancer killed him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he tried, and God bless him for it. I miss him every fucking day. There's an account that I follow on Twitter that I fucking despise, but I follow that account because every time I see it, I can click on it. I can see that he followed that account, and then I can go and like just kind of, if I'm missing him, I can go and click on that, and I can just kind of like watch some of his stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just an easy way for me to click and find him. You know, but I think about him pretty frequently because of that. So to kind of summarize what's going on here, you want to talk about making it in Hollywood. It's a numbers game, right? It really is. It's luck more than anything else. It's right time, right place more than anything else. And at the end of the day, you're not guaranteed anything. No one is guaranteed anything. So these two guys doing well this year, great for them. But I know a lot of other people that came before them that would not have made it in the same way they did. And so for them to sit there and shit on their origins, and I don't give a fuck if it's all about labeling, but for them to go and shit on their origins, that pisses me the fuck off, because I've lived through the shit where people were fucking actually crapped on for fucking having content on YouTube. All right. More people watch YouTube than watch cable television. So again, fuck them for saying that, but I still wish them the best in their fucking career. Yeah, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. Exactly. You know what pisses me off about that too is I remember like I would go to these like writing events and everything else, you know, and I'd meet these these guys that are like selling these screenwriting courses, you know, and then they would be like, yeah, if you come to my course, it costs like $800 for like a month. For like one meetup a week. At the end of the month, we do a big meetup, and I'll bring in other agents from like that literary agents or agents from other agencies or producers that I know, right? And those guys get paid to show up there. They get paid to show up and talk to some of these aspiring writers, and maybe they hit it off and maybe they don't. But at the end of the day, it's like they're paid to be there, right? Or they're doing a favor for a fucking friend. You know, or maybe these are development executives that are out there trying to find new talent, because that's why a lot of that shit, you know. Matt was face down in the muck. What are you talking about? Do I know people who had to pivot to corn when they didn't make it? No. I didn't know anyone that made that pivot. No, I didn't know anybody. David here says, it took me 4 years to write my spec script. I'll go into community college. Exactly. So that's kind of the whole point. You can get a DSLR attachment for your phone now. It's not needed anymore. That's not, well, I mean, like you can, but if you want to have like, you don't want to do it through your phone. The phone can do a lot, but it can't do everything. Okay. Like not everyone's going to have Steven Soderbergh, fucking, Danny Boyle shit. Okay. You can do a lot with your phone, but you shouldn't. Like, In Search Of was not shot with a DSLR. It was shot with a Panasonic, not HVX, like HPX or something. Hey, Steven, I know Shrek is back. I watched the trailer a couple times today. Okay, let me take a look here. Let's see. Ford says, I had a 75D 5D Mark III, and then I said enough DSLRs. I've got a 70 Mark III and a Canon 70D. And honestly, the Canon 70D is fine. I don't even know why I bought the fucking 70. I should sell it. I haven't touched it in years. I've also got the I've got like the EOS M6, I think, which I like. It's a small little one. But really it's like, it's evolved. It's evolved so fucking much. And it's really all about the fucking, what's the word I want to use here? It's really all about the lenses anyway, right? So let's see here. Matt Maitland Ward and the daughter from Family Matters pivoted. Yeah, no, that's true. No, I mean, I don't know them personally, but yes, that is very true. Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, I think, also did porn. One of Steven Spielberg's daughters, I think, also did porn. Like, it's a thing. But I don't know anyone personally who did it. So, the DJ, dude, I have the Osmo Pocket, the Pocket 2 and the Pocket 3, and I'm very tempted to make the drive to Canada to go get the Pocket 4 because of the tariffs. I can't buy it here. Do I have Mega's XLR? What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. All right, let me get to these super chats here. H-Bars for Fiverr. Thank you, buddy. I watched In the Gray over the weekend. Pretty good. Cavill is great as usual. Every time he does an action film, I wish we would have gotten him as Bond. Well, you can always just rewatch The Man from U.N.C.L.E. But yeah, Cavill, it's Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal in a Guy Ritchie movie. I mean, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is silly as shit, but I love it. So I'm down with that. Thank you, though. All right. H-Bart's here asking, will Indy Navarrete from Obsession get an Oscar nom, or is Hollywood still anti-horror? I don't think she's going to be able to not get an Oscar nom. But the question that becomes, will the studio make a push for her for leading lady or supporting? And with Emily Blunt Disclosure Day and whatever else is going on, I don't know, right? They may not want to do the Oscar campaign for that. I would say they should, because, I don't think, I mean, she's the lead of that movie. She's the female lead of that movie, Well, what's really funny about that movie, too, is that, like, all the actors are pretty good, but no one is talking about anybody other than Indy, which is kind of sad. Now, everyone else has been able to go and get signed with an agent, and they're probably being, they're being offered roles, which is good for them. They may not have to audition for right now while the movie is hot. They're going to be able to leverage that because their names aren't Sally Choi. But I do think that Indy should definitely get a nom. I think Obsession should get a nom. Like I said, I think I said this on Twitter. I can see Curry Barker getting Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, Best Actress. I could see those definitely getting nominated. Will it win? I don't know. Odyssey's a big one. Dune 3's a big one. Disclosure Day is a big, awards circuit. Again, it's going to be big on the awards circuit. There's a lot of other stuff coming out later on this year that's going to kind of go down that pipeline. But Obsession, I think if Obsession doesn't get nominated, then Gen Z will riot. And the fact that they want to get higher ratings on the Oscars means that they're probably going to end up nominating Obsession, because at that point, the Gen Zers are going to tune in. They're not. They're just going to go and wait for Twitter to give them the information. But anyway. Thank you. Every time you post about Man of Steel, people get so mad. They do, yeah. One person in particular gets mad because he's not a real boy, and he gets really upset at that. Look, I like Man of Steel. Do I also enjoy Superman 2025? The answer to that is yes. Do I think Man of Steel is a better movie? Yes, I do. I think it has a greater thematic core to it. I think it has better action set pieces. I think it's less silly. I think it's more grounded. I think it actually puts Superman in a position that tests his faith, rather than just oh no, people don't like me, right? It's whatever. And the emotional core of the movie stays intact, whereas James Gunn is afraid of Superman. I talked about this on Twitter the other day, but it's true. James Gunn is afraid of Superman. He was offered Superman in 2018 after he was fired. He didn't want to do it. He didn't think he could tackle the character. So he did the Suicide Squad, about a group of misfits, right? Trying to make good. Okay. Then he went on and he finished Guardians of the Galaxy, about a group of misfits trying to make good. He did Peacemaker, about other misfits trying to make good. If you notice a pattern here, he likes to put misfits in positions where they become better people. Okay. Superman is already the paragon of virtue. He's already the Boy Scout of Boy Scouts. How much better can this guy get? Right. And without making him like a fucking Paul Rubin in a fucking porno theater jacking off kind of character, what are you going to do with it? And that's what James Gunn did. James Gunn pulled his punches with Superman in order to, because he was afraid of the character. That's probably one of the reasons why Mr. Terrific was more interesting. Lex Luthor was more interesting. Guy Gardner was more interesting. Lois Lane was more interesting. There were more interesting characters in Superman than Superman himself. That being said, David Corenswet did a good job. He did a very good job. I'm not knocking his performance, nor am I knocking the movie. It was a very good movie. I really liked it. But when I'm putting it up against Man of Steel, it doesn't compare. That's my opinion, which apparently drives some people to consider seppuku with a fucking frisbee. I don't get it. But anyway, thank you for that. Ahsoka here for 10. Thank you very much. Says, I feel like Hollywood is trying to sabotage YouTube due to recently hearing about Curry Barker's comments. Hollywood is slowly dying, and I'm wondering, other than YouTube, what's going to replace them? Good question. Thank you for that. I've already talked about this, not tonight, but I've mentioned this before. If you want to find a way right now to like sell your stories and to put your shit out there, you've got to just do it, right? No one's coming to save you. It's up to you. That's the reality of it. All right. Look at Curry Barker and Kane Parsons. What did they do? They made content. They put it on YouTube. It went viral. They got these jobs. But again, right? Fuck YouTube, right? But in this case, you know, what you've also got is you've got options. You've got options. You can put a movie on Tubi, which they pretty much take anything, right? You can put a movie on Tubi. You can put a movie on Freevee. You can put a movie on Pluto, I think. There are other avenues to be able to put your movie out there. You may not be able to pay money to have it distributed to theaters, right? You may not be able to have money to be able to work a distribution deal or clout to work a distribution deal with a theater like Markiplier, you know, because remember, he self-financed $3 million and then he worked deals with movie theaters to put Iron Lung in theaters himself. So it's like he worked a distribution deal himself. He didn't go through any of the major studio systems. And that's another reason why people like Curry Barker and fucking Kane Parsons are acting embarrassed of their origins, because they know that someone like Markiplier came on in, and it doesn't matter that Iron Lung, like I haven't seen it, but like I hear it's slow and it's dry and whatever, but he whapped his big old dick on the fucking table and he scared the piss out of the fucking industry. And so these guys are fucking, they're playing guard. That's what they're doing, right? They're taking their marching orders and they're doing all that. So if you want to make a movie, if you want to make content, if you want to make whatever, you are in a position now to where you can actually do all of that, right? You can do it, you can distribute it, you can find an audience. The biggest thing you have to remember, and this is the biggest problem even I have too, is consistency is key. You have to make the content. It has to be consistent enough, and it has to be presented in a way that people can find. All right. You get lucky on some, you don't get lucky on others. It's a fucking numbers game. That's the reality of everything. And that's what's going on here. People don't seem to realize that we are just moving away from that kind of environment. You know? Let's see. The Pocket 4 is barely worth the upgrade, I hear. It's a clone of the Pocket 3 called the Extra Muse. There's a clone of the Pocket 3. I already have the Pocket 3, though. I want the upgraded sensor. Anyway, I do love my Pocket 3 though. It looks really good. I've also got the DJI Osmo Action 4. I didn't get the 5. I got the 4 though. 4 looks pretty good too. Okay, you feel like Tubi is now compromised. The only thing in circulation on its main page are Hollywood movies. You have to really search for the fun garbage. I don't like their update. Their UI update's terrible. I actually emailed them about this a little while back. I fucking hate it. Because I loved looking through like 1980s horror, 2010s horror, like finding the horror sections by the decade and finding the crap. I enjoyed finding the crap. I can't find the crap anymore. And you're right, because they make more money off of people watching the newer movies because they're going to watch the ads and I get it. I understand their business model, but there are still ways to do it. It just requires you to market it and get it out there. Like, that's the hardest part. It's almost like you got to hustle. You know, like remember back in the day when you'd go downtown and there'd be like a musician out there going like, yo, man, I got my CDs here, $5. You know, he tried to hustle you to get you to spend $5 to buy his album, you know, and then like hope that you would listen and hope that you would share it and all that kind of crap. Like that's kind of where you are now. You're going to have to go down to like the middle of downtown and be like, yo, y'all want to see my movie? Y'all want to see my movie? Check it out, man. Fucking $2 download league, $5, whatever, man. Check it out. And I think, like that's going to have to be the next big thing, unfortunately, you know, and that's just where we are. There's so much content that's being made. We're in the prestige era of television where television shows are out, you know, are kind of outflanking, movies for their cultural popularity, Nothing is not a lot is really landing anymore, theatrically speaking. That's why we always hear wait for streaming or wait for rental. And these tech companies, they understand that. Netflix, they wanted to go theatrical. Hollywood basically gave them the middle finger over the whole Netflix deal or over the Warner Brothers deal. So now they're working with Sony to distribute Narnia in theaters. They're going to distribute themselves here locally, and then domestically, and then overseas they're going to have Sony's going to handle all that shit. And that could be a way to get more Netflix movies in theaters, because that's going to open the fucking pipeline. If it does well, it will open the pipeline. And that's what Netflix wanted to do, and that's what they were going to do with Warner Brothers. But nope, Hollywood is just going to Hollywood. And the thing is, though, the reason why everyone's really mad about that is because of change. All right? The Netflix deal with Warner Brothers was nowhere near as bad as Netflix and fucking Paramount. Or Warner Brothers and Paramount. All right? Like, Paramount is compromised. David Ellison is compromised. His father is compromised. They're all compromised. Okay? They have to work with the Saudis and other Middle Eastern countries in order to bring up the money to be able to purchase this kind of shit. It's the same thing that Elon Musk did when he fucking paid out $44 billion for goddamn Twitter. He had to go to, like, the Middle East people who do not care about human rights, who do not care about freedom, who do not care about any of these things, and then go to them for money, almost effectively blood money, to be able to buy all this kind of shit, right? But Netflix would have done it on its own, right? Would have done it on its own. But no, that's too fucking bad. Like that, that's kind of the whole thing. H-Bart's here for 10. Thank you, buddy. Says, why do people on Twitter think that the general audience will be able to tell Batman and Man of Tomorrow are different universes? My parents are general audience, and without me, they would think they're the same universe. That's kind of my whole point. Again, people who are terminally online, and I find it really funny, the people that are terminally online with with the Superman avatars on social media are like upset with me saying that the general audience is going to have trouble distinguishing between, the universes when it comes to Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and Batman Part 2 next year, right? Only a few months from each other. You can have a Superman and a Batman movie happening, which is cool. Make no mistake. That is actually pretty fucking dope. But it's going to cause confusion because people associate Batman with Superman, Superman with Batman, and the fact that they're going to be in two different universes doesn't make any fucking sense. And then I love, oh my God, it makes my nips so fucking hard when I hear people go like, yeah, but like the dark, gritty world of the Batman won't fit with the fucking bright, sunny world of fucking Superman. And I'm like, you do realize that Clayface is set in the fucking DCU, right? James Gunn has said that there's going to be different projects with different vibes and different feelings that are going to all fall into the same universe. Gee, golly, oh no, right? Gee, oh man, oh, what you got now? Clayface is going to be dark and gritty and rated R and produced by Matt Reeves, and probably more, because it was initially, I think, meant to be part of the Batman universe, right? Before they decided to move it into the DCU. Gee, oh golly, oh no, man, oh fucking shit, holy fucking shit, fuck, people are goddamn. I just I just don't get it. It's just like, you present logic, you present reasoning, you present factual data, right? Actual information that actually matters. And these people respond like they're simple jack. It's every time. It never fails. And again, it goes back to what I was saying before. These people that are in their own echo chamber, the cognitive dissonance, confirmation bias, especially the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? It's all of those things wrapped into one. Do I think that the general audience will be able to differentiate between the two? I'm actually not sure. And I'm leaning towards no. Some will, yeah, if they're told the truth of it. All right. But again, a lot of people don't engage with marketing before movies. They might see a trailer, and that's how they know something is coming out. But licensing agreements, the press tours are an absolute waste of fucking time. I don't even think like they really do much these days. Outside of being shared around social media for the people that are already looking for that kind of stuff, they don't really do much. It's all word of mouth. And if people are going like, hey man, that was a good Superman movie. Oh man, it'd be cool if we got Superman and Batman. And like, oh, but especially if there's a Batman Part 2 trailer in front of Superman. If there's which there probably will be, because that's going to be the next big release from DC Studios, even if it's an Elseworld story, blah, 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 right? So if you've got Superman Man of Tomorrow, and before that movie, like the attached trailer, before you're watching Superman rehash the John Williams theme once again, and you hear, and you see the Batman, right? And then you're like, oh, fuck yeah, the Batman. And then you're like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm watching Superman. And like, oh, shit, that comes out in a couple months. Oh, fuck yeah. And then you look online and you're like, they're not connected? Oh, okay. Well, that's going to suck, right? People are going to get mad because they're taught to believe everything's going to be connected. And Marvel is getting ready to go in with Doomsday and fucking Secret Wars and go out there and fucking straight up have everything fall under one roof. All right. But DC can't do it. They can't do it. They just can't fucking do it. It's the weirdest shit to me. Right. This idea that like, well, Matt Reeves doesn't want to do it. Then find someone who does. Sorry. This is show business, not show friends. That's a fucking executive call. And if you're going to make an older Batman and part of the Bat family as part of your main staple within the DCU, then you'd better get the fuck on that shit. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's what I hate to tell you. Here's what I hate to remind you of. Again, a little cold, hard truth, fucking reality coming your way. All right. So Paramount buys Warner Brothers by the end of the year, unless attorney generals step in and stop it. Okay. They're going to try like 7 attorneys generals in the States are trying to do that. Whether or not they succeed, got no fucking idea. But there's a high probability that Paramount will own Warner Brothers. And what happens when Paramount gets Warner Brothers? They bought them for $110 billion. $30 billion more than what fucking Disney paid for Fox, right? Or not even, like almost $40 billion more than what Disney paid for Fox. And then Paramount is going to be saddled with so much fucking debt that they're going to have to start laying off people and getting rid of the redundancies. We're talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands of jobs. And then they're going to have to look to see what makes the most amount of money that they're going to be able to leverage right away in order to be able to cut down on that debt. And then they're going to look at the fucking sheets and they're going to see that the DCU might have cost less but made money, but the Batman ultimately made more money, and it's probably more cost effective in the long run due to the ancillary earnings that can happen from the Batman, because the Batman is the number one fucking selling toy or collectible or character in comic books, especially DC. Superman's like maybe in the top 5, but he's not even in the top 3. Okay, it's Batman, Harley Quinn, Joker. Maybe Supes is number 4, maybe not. I don't fucking know, but he's not 1, 2, or 3. He's not the holy fucking trinity of popular DC characters. And so they're going to look at that and they're going to be like, all right, we got to focus on the Batman because the Batman is the fastest way to make money. That's what they're going to fucking do. So that's what's going to happen. And so when that happens, right, they're going to be like, all right, sorry, James, you did good. You got a couple movies out there. We made some money. But obviously this shit ain't moving fast enough. And we got to have movies that make money now. All right. And it can't, we got to do that. And they got to be TV shows too. So they're either going to sit there and not renew James Gunn's contract, which I do think is probably going to happen. Or they're going to sit there and just cancel the DCU. And we're going to end up getting another reboot down the road, which sucks because fuck, God damn it, man. You just want to see a cohesive DC universe. Like that's it. You just want to see a cohesive DC universe. And of course, not that I want to dwell on this topic anymore, but there's always going to be the people that are going to come back in and be like, so Zack Snyder's free to, you could sit there and bring in some Zack Snyder, get Zack Attack going on, right? Fucking do Justice League Part 2 and whatever the fuck, that ain't going to happen either, right? There's too much money, it's going to cost to get Henry back and in shape, Ben back and in shape, Gal back and in shape, to bring back fucking Ray Fisher, fucking Jason Momoa, who's happy doing Lobo. He may not get another Lobo appearance. We don't know yet. All of these factors are up in the air, by the way. Okay. Nothing here is set in stone and anything is likely to change. And I'm just talking about my perspective based upon my opinion. But again, everything is subject to change. Make no mistake about that. So we'll have to wait and see on that one there. HWAD for 5. Thank you. Says Gunn can't even be serious. It's dumb. Also, when Gunn brings Snyder in for the movie Honeymoon is Over, I do think that that James Gunn will eventually bring in. I do think that James Gunn will eventually bring in Zack Snyder for something, right? Whether it's a you know, as an olive branch to a friend, you know, trying to get the buddy to, like, you know, hey, you got your fans and shit, come over, do the Authority movie or something. I could see Zack Snyder doing that. You know, I could see Zack Snyder doing a fucking Green Lantern movie. Imagine Zack Snyder directing a Green Lantern movie. That would be pretty fucking sick, you know. And that's already an R-rated franchise anyway, so just kind of lean into that shit. You know, I could see something like that happening. All right, something not related to the main characters that Zack was messing with before, because they don't want there to be too much, you know, fucking bullshit online. But I could see that happening. Okay, Rational here. Thank you for 5. Thoughts on Seth Rogen saying he'll never speak or work with James Franco again? You think he's telling the truth? What if Franco makes a comeback? Well, it's really all about making a comeback, right? It's really all about making a comeback. If James Franco is able to make a comeback, Seth Rogen will then be more publicly okay to associate with him. Look at like Louis C.K., right? Louis C.K. got fucking busted a couple years ago for jacking off in front of women. Shouldn't have done it. It was a bad idea, right? Bad fucking idea. Shouldn't have done that shit. But Louis C.K. got the promo today for a new comedy special on Netflix. I've seen Louis C.K. popping up on other podcasts. You know, he's making the rounds again. He's doing more public touring again. He's kind of getting back out there again. Will he do movies? I don't know. Will he get back into Hollywood? I don't know. Right? Probably not. But he might get something off the ground down the road, because remember, he actually won a Grammy for a comedy album. And that was a special that he actually paid to rent the location. He paid to, you know, make the album. He then sold the album to his audience directly and made money that way. You know, showing that you can, with an audience, even if you're canceled, find a way to still make money. And now all these years later, they're kind of bringing him back around. You know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. Is James Franco going to get the same situation? He's got a pretty stacked lineup for filming in 2026 and 2027. So the likelihood of him coming back to some extent is probably going to happen. Now, will he go back to doing some big stuff like he was before? The answer to that is probably no. All right. But smaller work can lead to bigger work. And Hollywood is really all about how, you know, you're really only as good as your last project. So I wouldn't worry about that so much. Seth Rogen, on the other hand, and I've mentioned this on social media, is in a position where he's also a producer, a creative executive, and a person who kind of like oversees a bunch. So he has got more to lose than if he was just an actor. If he was just an actor, right, like we're talking like super bad timing, then he would probably be like, whatever, we'll make it work, whatever. But now he's got something to lose. He doesn't want to lose it. So he's just going to come out and say, no, we have no plans to work together right now. You know, but they know each other for 20 years, and you can see it probably bothers him, right? Because he does all this, and there are people out there who thinks that he's throwing his buddy under the bus. His friend made mistakes. Make no fucking mistake about that. All right. But if he's owned those mistakes and he's tried to do his best to come back, and he's tried to do his best to be a better person, of which I have no fucking idea. Okay. I don't know if that's the case or not, but if that is what James Franco has been doing, then I think it's like, okay, well, maybe see where it goes. I don't know. I mean, Armie Hammer is coming back with that new Citizen Vigilante movie, and everything. And he's, you know, he had a profile in Hollywood Reporter today, acknowledging he made mistakes, acknowledging that he fucked up real bad. And talked about the downfall, talked about, you know, bottoming out, and talked about, you know, hoping for a second chance, which is a very valid and human thing. A lot of people out there don't like to give second chances. Believe me, I know. They seem to think that you're always trapped into whatever mistake you make, and that's going to be your ultimate defining moment of who you are as a character, who you are as a person, and anything else in between. And that's one of the things that really, one of the reasons why my takes on these are maybe a little bit different, is because I'm not a terrible person, but people like to frame me as a terrible fucking person. All right. Like, I'm exceptionally generous, like, you know, with a lot of people. I try to help wherever I can. I'm very thoughtful in many ways. You know, it's always a work in progress. Social media, you know, you got to be a little hyperbolic every once in a while. All right. And I'm not perfect, but it's one of those things where it's like people would rather just hold the fucking flagging thing over my head, despite the fact that it's been 8 fucking years. and then think that they've got me in some fucking own. It's like the stupidest fucking thing. But those people, you have to realize, you're never going to win over. You're never going to win them over. So there's no fucking point in giving them the time of day, right? It's like, just block them and move on with your fucking life, because you're not going to convince them that that's not you, or that never maybe was you, or, you know, mistakes are made, sort of thing. Now, in the case of like anyone doing like sexual assault, which is stuff that both Armie Hammer and James Franco have been accused of, but, you know, in the case of Armie Hammer, the LA PD investigated. They did not find enough evidence to construe any kind of conviction. They didn't think they were going to get a conviction. There wasn't enough evidence to kind of determine what was consensual and what was not consensual amongst that relationship. So indicating that there was probably some hardcore shit going on, and some lines might have been crossed or might have been blurred, but that's what they determined. So therefore, Armie Hammer has been accused, investigated, and they found that there was not enough evidence to convict, because there was a lot of shit going on that was consensual. But no one's going to go, oh, he was accused of sexual assault, asterisk, 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 here's why, or here's the outcome of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, James Franco, he paid settlements, he closed down his school, he went away for a while, you know, and it's like, okay, like, at what point do people get the chance to move on with their fucking lives again? You know, what it really boils down to in this case is trust, for one, right? If you violate the trust of your audience, of your fans, earning that back is tough. All right. And it's one of the reasons why I said earlier, when it comes to Curry Barker and Kane Parsons, I really hope that someone has told them no alcohol and no hard drugs, right? Timothy Chalamet's, that advice given to him, speculated to have been by Robert Downey Jr., is some of the best advice you can give anyone in Hollywood. Tom Holland, alcoholic for a long time. He quit booze, right? Got his shit together, opened up a non-alcoholic beer company, just married the love of his life, you know, and he's starring in his fourth solo Spider-Man movie. And now also saying, like, he's trying to act like he's not coming back for more. Did you guys hear that shit? He's trying to act like he's done after this. He's not. But I feel like with Seth Rogen, that's going to be the big thing for Seth Rogen, is he's got to come on out and do, you know, he's like, I think if they were going to do James Franco, Seth Rogen movie again, it would make a lot of money. This is here. Thank you very much. Why did did Masters of the Universe bomb pretty hard? It did. In many ways, the release date was not good. The release date was not good at all. You had an oversaturated market. You had the unexpected blowing up of Obsession in Backrooms up against Scary Movie, which also had a very large drop off in its second weekend and third weekend now, right? Like, it's also not doing well. You know, Masters of the Universe is, despite not earning a lot of money, has held on relatively well. All right. It's held on relatively okay, indicating that there is a fan base for it, but that fan base is going to show up on streaming. And that's where I think we're going to get a sequel. That's where I think that. All right. Yeah. Smash the like button. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Arturo. I appreciate you. Mo, I tell you what to do. I like the stream. Thank you guys. Okay. Here we go. This is for 5. Thank you, buddy. Look at Microsoft and how fast it's going down the drain. Microsoft bought too many gaming developers, and now they may be forced to sell Xbox. None of that's going to happen. None of that's going to happen. They're going to spin off the developers that aren't producing, you know, Ninja Theory. Look, come on, guys. Senua Hellsblade, whatever the fuck, Ninja Theory. All right, they did 1 and 2. Those are tech demos. Those are tech demos that were basically just fucking Games Pass fodder. All right. Like Ninja Theory, you know, like what was it? It wasn't the last fucking Ninja Gaiden game done by goddamn Platinum Games. All right. And once Tomonobu Itagaki passed away, which, you know, hey, may he rest in peace. There wasn't really a guiding hand, as far as I understand it, at Ninja Theory. Okay. So it's business sense to kind of cut the dead weight. All right. You close the studio down. Those developers will go then work for another studio. Okay. That's part of the whole thing. Those people, you close the studio down, you have companies that are always going to be making big games, right? And they start onboarding a bunch of people in order to hit that fucking crunch time. So those developers have a good shot at getting another job unlike Hollywood that doesn't have that particular issue. So looking at like, if Double Fine Entertainment is going to be spun off, fine, let Tim Schafer get his money and then fuck off forever, because I hate that guy. It's like there's a lot that Microsoft bought under Phil Spencer that was meant to bolster fucking Games Pass, and it didn't really work out very well. And I think a lot of that, again, is something the same, similar things that are happening to Sony. It's live service games. All right. People don't want live service games. There are games like Arc Raiders. I don't know if I'd call it a live service game, because you can kind of grind everything and have a good time. There's Helldivers is not really a live service game. Marathon is not really a live service game. They're extraction shooters, if anything. And that's actually becoming the new kind of battle royale, which is actually kind of nice. Instead of being, competitive play, it's cooperative play in many instances, which I think works out pretty well. And so, they got to figure out if those games can then earn money. The thing that killed a lot of these studios is chasing the Fortnite bucks. That's what's going on here. Is trying to chase Fortnite, a game that is free to download, but still earns about $3 billion a month in revenue. No one can compete with that, period. No one can compete with that shit, ever. And that ends up being like the biggest problem. All right? That's like the biggest fucking problem. Ninja Theory did great work with Disney Infinity. I feel bad for Disney Infinity, man. Let's see here. The problem Microsoft has faced that they couldn't make COD exclusive. They could have. They chose not to. They could have. I know they said that they weren't going to do it. They could have totally done it. Like they could have totally. They didn't have. They could have made it a timed exclusive. But they were hoping that people buying Xbox Games Pass. Like I actually sat there. Oh, Team Ninja isn't Ninja Theory. Okay, my bad. Thank you. I got that screwed up. So it's but Tomonobu Itagaki is dead, if I recall. Sorry, it's so fucking warm in my room. I thought I gotta have like, whatever it is, I gotta drink. So yeah, when you're looking at a lot of this stuff coming out of the industry, it's like chasing subscription-based models. Like Games Pass isn't inherently bad. It's actually quite good. But the problem though is that it's like, in order for it to be something that is like really profitable, they got to raise prices, right? If you notice, AMC has done this with their AMC A-list. They have now they're now raising their prices for the second time in like only a few months. They're raising their prices, and so that's pissing off a lot of people, right? Like that's really pissing off a lot of people because they worked at that for a while and they were finally able to get enough people on AMC A-list that were then able to then start, turning a profit for that system. But it took a long time. And I would argue that a lot of the people that are selling out, buying up these fucking, AMC screenings for the Odyssey are mostly the AMC stubs people or the A-listers people, they're not the fucking, they're not like the normies and shit. And I think that's going to cause some problems as well. So, your buddy said the Supergirl tickets are $30 in San Fran. There's an early screening. Hold on, let me find this here. Let's see here. Supergirl. Okay. Supergirl, here we go. All right, let me bring this up. So this is Supergirl fan first screenings. Okay. So you've got 1 hour, 48 minutes. Wow, that's short. Movies at AMC. Okay, advanced. Let me see if I can find it here. All right. I know I'm in. The nearest AMC to me is, let's see where it's at. There's no, the nearest AMC to me, I want to say is like Lakewood. Damn, that's a distance. Look, the nearest one to me is 36 miles. All right. So we'll just look at that one. Okay. So 7 p.m. All right. Real 3D. This is on, what day is this on? I don't even know what day it is. All right. We'll just do 3D. All right. I forget who's putting this on. Look at this here. This is what's available. All right. Supergirl fan. Wednesday, June 24th, 7 p.m. This is what's available. Look at this. All these seats are available. It's crazy. This is also the 3D one. So let's say Kent Station 14. This is still, you know, this is still what's available. All right. So let's see. G12. All right. Oh no, hold on. G6. You're probably asking yourself why G6? Because I'm fly like a G6, bitch. So one adult ticket is $21.49. Okay, so last year I did the Superman early screening, and that one was that one was like $30 because it was IMAX. So let's see here. Okay. All right, we'll take a look here for what's near me. Okay. So, all right, Cinemark. Let's see, Wednesday the 24th. Cinemark Ocean's 11. Oh wow, 25th anniversary. That might, I could go see that over going to see Supergirl. Toy Story 5. Look at all these screenings for Toy Story 5. Right, that's a lot, and that's just for the 24th. That's next week. Shrek 25th anniversary. Crazy. Oh fuck, dude, they got Tu Wong Fu. Oh, based. Tu Wong. Fuck, dude. Tu Wong Fu. Why are they showing Tu Wong Fu? Okay, here we go. IMAX premium format, 7 p.m. showing for Wednesday. I might go to this. All right, let's see how it's done. Look at this. This is what it's sold up. This is what it's done. All right. This was sold out, by the way. I saw Superman. This was sold out. So let's see. All right. One ticket, $25. With tax, it's going to be close to $28, $29. So to go see this movie in IMAX is going to cost me $29 fucking dollars. Right? For a fan first screening. I think I'm okay. Right? I think I'm all right. But we'll see here. What about the 9:50 showing? Again, barely anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seats sold. Now, more will definitely sell. Okay, and I'm not in the busiest of areas, mind you. All right, I'm not in the busiest of areas. But let's take a look here at Thursday, the 25th. You got Jackass coming out. All right, we got the 3 p.m. summertime, hour 48 minutes. Let's see here. Okay, now this one, what the fuck? All right, so here we go. This is first screen of the day. For the next day, almost sold out. This is for the Century. This is for the cinema. This is the one up the street from me. These seats right here? Those are all D-box. So when I say D-box seats don't sell, like look at this here. Even the front rows are sold out, but D-box is not sold out. Front rows are sold out. D-box is not sold out. That's crazy as shit. So okay, so people are going to go get it for then. Again, though, much smaller theater. All right, so let's see. Supergirl, that's special offer. D-box. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Real D. Here we go. Standard 3 p.m. showing at the Cinemark here. Not as sold out as the other one. But still, why those seats are sold, I have no idea. But all the D-box seats are sold out. So I was wrong on this one. That's all I'm talking about there. So, all right. Jackass might beat Supergirl the way summer is going. Dude, I mean, given how well Scary Movie did, probably. Let's see. Marathon was a game from the 90s. Bungie turned into a crappy multiplayer first-person shooter from Bungie. Yeah, no, I know. Marathon was the original idea where Halo came from. It's kind of like back in 2012 or 2011 when EA put out Syndicate. Right? And Syndicate was a remake of the old Bullfrog games from Syndicate that are awesome. Syndicate and Syndicate Plus and Syndicate Wars, which I played the fuck out of as kids. And then they gave us this like first person, like squad-based shooter. Man. Yeah. Man. I was happy about that shit though. Would not mind playing Syndicate again. Syndicate was great. But what we're looking at here, why the fuck is Cinemark flooding all their theaters with D-Box? For the same reason Regal and AMC are. They invested $2 billion amongst the 3 theater chains to improve the theaters, and that's what they did. They put in that shit. It's It's terrible. Terrible. Terrible shit. But that's what what we're talking about here. Did you see the Supergirl cup that you messaged me? Where'd you message me on Twitter? Was it on Twitter? Let me see. Okay. Oh, hold on. I have what? Hidden. Did you send me a message request on fucking Twitter? Or did you DM, or did you just tag me? Because that's always a little bit different. I don't know. you gotta, be careful about that. Because I don't really read my mentions because I get a lot of shitty people. All theaters should have, Instagram? Okay. I never check Instagram. I don't even check Discord. The Supergirl foreskin cup, right? Oh yeah. I saw that. Hold up, yo. Hold up. Supergirl. I cannot believe. There we go. Look at. Oh god, this is fucking beautiful. This is beautiful, guys. This is where it's at. Look at this. Look at this. It's got the fucking flesh grip and everything. All right? It's fucking insane. I did not foresee this coming. Yeah. I can't believe they did this. It's got the fucking, it's got the rib for her pleasure part up there too. It's crazy. That is nuts, guys. That's fucking wild. I mean, look, I understand. I understand that the demographic for people going to see Supergirl are going to be men, right? Like that is true. The demographic for people who are going to see that movie are going to be are dudes, and so they might watch it and they might get hot and bothered and be like, "I need to fill the cup," and so they just want to go and do all that shit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that'd be kind of wild, wouldn't it? That'd be kind of nuts. I would be a little concerned about that. If some guy comes in all sweaty dude, excuse me, I need to fucking I just need to buy more of those cups. Oh no, you don't know me. My name is Donovan. Oh, you don't know me. My name is Donovan. I need to buy those fucking cups. I need to buy those cups. That would be funny. It's supposed to be her jacket in the film, but somebody screwed up. No. No. I know it's her jacket, but it's flesh colored. It's when your Moyle walks out mid job. That's fucking true. Yeah, that's fucking true. That's fucking funny though. That's hilarious. Hilarious. That's crazy and shit. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this one here. This is when I was talking about the Tubi thing. Check this out. This is an article that just came up on the recently on the Wall Street Journal, right? This is from literally today by Ben Fritz, nonetheless. This is a former drug dealer whose show makes millions without Hollywood. Silk White's DIY movies and TV shows are profiting from growing audiences on free services like Tubi and Roku. And Fox just bought Roku today for like $20 billion. By the way, do you know who owns Tubi? Roku. So now Fox is going to own Tubi and Roku. Not too sure how I feel about that. But Tubi has blown up, right? Tubi is blown up. Now I want to see what this guy's got. What's this dude? What's this guy make? Right? What's he got? Let's take a look here. Let's bring it up. Okay, this is this guy. Oh, he did a fucking video too from last year. Let's take a look.
Yo, what's going on? Man, Silk White, we back, man. We just got back from the East Honors Awards, man. And like I said, we won. We brought the trophy home. And I want to just give a shout out to everybody who voted for us, man. I really appreciate everybody who took the time out and voted for us. Everybody who came out to support the event and support me and the team and stuff like that, man. I appreciate everybody.
Okay.
So, man, I just want to say that it's been a long road, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I just want everybody to keep going, keep their foot on the gas, man. It took a minute for me to get here like this, but consistency is key.
Okay, hold up. I want to see. I mean, no, no shade on this dude, right? He's doing the shit, the hustle, right? He's doing vlogs about like hustling his films and everything else. Okay, cool. Let's see here. All right. Love Don't Pay the Bills official trailer. Let's take a look.
Some missions require you to get your hands dirty. It's one of those missions.
Yeah.
Mello and Missy are two of the biggest drug dealers this town has ever seen. Do not blow your cover. They will kill you.
I want to see you. Meet me in my jet. I'll give you an hour.
I'm not going down for your bitch ass.
You let me deal with my wife. I just need you to be ready when the time comes.
I need you to help me kill my husband.
Then what happens when they come for you?
I'll just have to deal with it if and when it comes.
You know I can have George, your wife, killed like that?
We deal with him like we deal with any other enemy. They run up, they get done up.
All right. Interesting. Let's see here. I'm kind of curious. What else? Okay, he did this one, Tears of a Hustler 2. All right.
I heard about what the police did. Just know you will get some street justice about this, you hear me?
I just want to pay off my debt and then get back to my normal life. Now that I'm home, it's time to get back to work.
I'm gonna ask you one time, how are we gonna fix this?
Now, you notice how it's got the TVMA on it, right? Let's see here. No, but honestly, the real lesson there is successful Tubi makers give is how to market your film. Yeah, pretty much. But that's kind of where I'm thinking, like, man, you're gonna get movies of fucking AI films coming up on Tubi real quick. They're using AI for vignettes. I don't know, man. Like that ain't. Aztec, the topic is Black Tubi. Mo knows all about BlackTube. I mean, I think Mo knows a lot about Blacked.com. We might need to send him this cup in order for him to get through whatever he's got him all bricked up. Anyway. Jesus Christ. All right, I want to see it. I want to see another one here. Okay. And so, he's doing like Wrong Place, Wrong Time, episode 1 year ago. I mean, like, but none of these are really like getting a lot of views. I mean, this is on YouTube, but it's like, how well does this do on Tubi? You know what I mean? Now, granted, we're not going to have like any of the access to any of the back end shit. But it looks like he's got it. Now, does he have his shows on Tubi? That becomes a real question. Right? Short film and entertainment. Okay. So let's take a look here. We're going to jump over here. Okay. At Tubi. All right. So what does he got on Tubi? All right, here we go. Silk White's movies and TV shows. Dude, he's got his own page. I mean, that's pretty fucking base, dude. I'll give him credit on that one there. All right, Tears of a Hustler. It's Lonely at the Top. Love Don't Pay the Bills. Learning the Hard Way too. How Much Do You Love Me? It's Lonely at the Top 2. Learning the Hard Way number 3. Chicks Behind Bars. Obviously going to be some sexy shit there. All I Want Is You. Learning the Hard Way. And then he's got The Hustle. All right. So like, but look at this here. Tubi's available for free on all your favorite devices. Right. Notice how no PlayStation but Xbox. They understand the assignment. Kind of curious on this one here, right? So he's all like, this is the show. Season 1, episode 1, respect. He takes people's... Oh, I got to kind of see this here. I want to see, like, the quality. on.
Fucking wallet prick. I'ma fucking throw money at you all fucking night. You better not have no fucking money on you all night. I see you motherfuckers in 30 minutes.
So the theme for my man Cliff's birthday party was put that shit on. So you already know I had to come out with that shit on.
The fuck? What in the fuck? All right. Let's see here. Hold on. I'm too traumatized to return to CreepyCon. I may not be ready yet to make. What is CreepyCon? What is that? Where all the white women at? Somewhere. I don't know. Brashel says, I DM'd you a wiki article on the upcoming James Franco film with the ensemble cast. Is that it's not the fucking Rambo one, is it? Okay, let's see here. All right. The Long Home. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so take a look here. The Long Home is an American unreleased indie drama film directed by and starring James. Wow, he's directing it. Okay. Oh wow, look at he's got Josh Hutcherson, Tim Blake Nelson, Courtney Love, Timothy Hutton, Giancarlo Esposito, Ashton Kutcher, Josh Hartnett. Okay, wow. Wow. Okay, so here's the plot. Oh, it's based on a 1999 novel. Okay. So, principal photography began on May 1st, 2015. The film was completed, but no official releases Oh, that's why. So they shot it like 10 years ago. And then it got fucking shelved after the allegations. Yeah, there we go. Right. In January 2018, an actress from the film accused Franco of inappropriate sexual behavior during filming. The movie was tentatively expected to be released in 2017, and in November of that year, the sales rights to the movie were acquired by Great Point Media. As of 2025, it has not released yet. Yeah, it won't. I don't think it's going to come out for a while. I thought it was a new thing that he did. That's kind of crazy and shit. Jarbo, please make a black tubing movie. I'll be your scapegoat in case shit gets heated. We'll say I really directed the film. What's it going to be? Like, you know, I mean, like, what, how would I make a black tubing movie? What would it be about? The struggle, right? I think if you're going to tell a story about the, you know, that's the thing. I was talking with this guy the other day. I had a passenger the other day. Guy's rocking a, fucking Tupac shirt and everything else. We're talking about like rap music from the 90s. You know, and I'm like, whatever happened to the songs about the struggle, man? You know, like early Pac, fucking Dre, Snoop, all that shit was about the struggle. And then it became about like the fucking money, you know, and that kind of ruined it and shit. So what would I do? What would I do? How would I do a black tubing movie? You know, I don't know how to do. See, this is where Sora would be really great, because you could just type in, you know, like a movie about like, you know, growing up in the hood, you know, and like making your own way and shit, right? Like you could have it generate a fucking trailer. I miss Sora. I do. I miss Sora quite a bit. Oh man. Oh Jesus. Oh my gosh. That's fucking funny. Okay, where are we at there? You should make a remake of The Substitute about my time in Compton. Yeah, like the one day I spent working in Compton. Be like, I gotta reach these kids, and I gotta stop these drug dealers, and I gotta save all these people from all these bad apples and shit. Let's see here. Yeah, Jarbo, there's still great rap hip hop in like the 90s style. It's just not the mainstream. It's independent. I mean, yeah, I haven't heard a lot of shit in a while. You know, but it's like, I'm just saying, it's like, you're going to have to go out there and hustle yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. So like this other guy, this Silk White dude, he's a hustling himself, man. Fucking more power to him. Let's see. Shiftygism says there's a deep conspiracy theory that Dave Grohl offed Kurt Cobain. Really? Doesn't Courtney Love have like the rights to all of the Nirvana songs? What I'm waiting for is for Courtney Love to like realize that she's broke, and then to be like, okay, we're going to go use AI to make fucking Nirvana tracks. We're going to find all these old songs that were never finished, and we're gonna like complete them with AI, which I think is gonna happen. Let's see. Rational says here, it sucks that Franco's film won't be released. I hate it when that happens. It's when they shelve finished films. I mean, like, look, man. If that one lady is saying that he acted inappropriately with her, then like that's gotta like, you know, he's got to get past that stigma before they can do anything else. You know, it's like look at the Louis C.K. movie, right? That one about like I Love You, Daddy, that was like coming out, and then everything went down, and then like they pulled the release and ended up just putting the movie online and shit. You know, like, or I think they just like had it up for like VOD or some shit like that. They should put the movie on VOD, the Franco film, and let it happen. They should really just do that. So, all right. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys something. As much as I like AI, this is not it. This is not good. Check this out. So someone is trying to recreate Who Framed Roger Rabbit, just to give you an idea. Check this out.
Please, Doom, can't we just talk this out?
I'm going to dip you, Rabbit, slowly.
That's all, folks. I'd like to thank everyone who came to Toontown Town to watch the show tonight. And a special thanks to my good friend sitting right there in the audience, Eddie Valor!
So that's horrifying. So you got one shot of it being Roger Rabbit, and then over here it turns into the Trix Rabbit, right? And then he loses, you know, everything. But he's got kind of has the voice a little bit. But I mean, like that's actually a pretty well composed shot there, I'll fully admit. And then cuts over here to fucking Bob Hoskins. That's kind of sad and scary. But like, look at the audience. Look at the faces of the audience. They don't look unreal. They look real. Look at this guy here, right? This guy in the polo. He's got a wedding ring on. Okay, he's got a dad bod. You know, I mean, just saying, like, look at that. It's kind of crazy. Woman down here with the glasses. You see the lights reflecting off the glasses naturally. It's crazy, guys. Let's see here. The film is about how to find your part black. Wait, hold on. Sorry. The film is about how you find out you're part black, then retroactively go back and get revenge on the people who mistreated you because it's racial. You go around clearing your name, claiming what? Claiming what? Claiming you didn't do nothing. That I'm a good boy. Is that what's going on? That I'm can the name of the movie be either Dindu or Good Boy? Right. And I'm not a big fan of the Dindu. I don't like that. That's a negative term people use. But that's Jesus Christ. Yeah, I would absolutely blame that one on you. 100%, 100,000 million %. Fucking be like, it's not me, guys. It's totally not me. It's this other dude. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing and shit. All right. So here's one I'm going to show you guys. I haven't seen this one yet. This is one this guy was sharing online. It is a AI. He had a pitch for a serial killer movie, and then he turned it into this like little 5-minute thing. But he's got it up on Vimeo. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Because some of these are pretty good. That's horrifying. Blink, bitch. Okay.
Five transport, 11-year-old Christopher Hager, who went missing. A missing Mindora boy has been found. 11-year-old Michael Stevens' body was found yesterday at Brug Lake after.
That is some aggressive editing.
Thad, you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Are you looking forward to school?
It's cool, I guess.
Well, you'll be cool because your brother's a senior and you can hang with his friends.
I like his new girlfriend, Brittany.
I don't know if she's his girlfriend yet.
She talks to me. I don't know anyone else.
Please give this a chance, kiddo. It's a new house and a new start. You'll make friends. I promise.
That's ominous as fuck. What the fuck? Okay, I like that shot. Wait, didn't she walk across the street and like stand on the other side? Bit of a continuity error there. That's kind of creepy though. You save a lot of money when there's no dialogue.
What brings you here, Donlin?
What's up, Ray?
You can call me Chief. What are you doing down here?
Just taking a walk in a public park.
Not a walk down memory lane, I hope?
How long am I going to pay for that?
As long as I have to. You have anywhere to be? College? Got a job by any chance?
I wasn't wrong.
Someone's dead and I got sued because of you.
Hey! You didn't know I was here! What are you looking for, Chief?
Okay, I mean, that's not, okay, that's interesting. Just as a little kind of promo for what's going on. This is really not good. I mean, it's got some interesting sides to it, I'll admit. I think the continuity issues, really what it boils down to, Shifty, and this is where I think a lot of stuff happens with AI, is that they don't have the ability. The dialogue stuff is like not very great. Let me show you guys this short that I found. I was watching a video on how to do you know, how to do the stuff with seed dance. And this one is kind of fun. How short is that woman? Short. She's short. This one was done, and the process of how the guy made it is also in this video, but it's also really interesting.
I still can't believe we'll be the first Europeans on the moon.
We? I got dips.
Yes! First European on the moon, that's me! Oh, man. Hey, let's go plant our flag. Yeah. Let's go.
See, like, this audio is better, right? Like, this audio is way better.
What is that? No way. What the hell, Jack? Don't touch it. Come on, man. If this is what I think it is, we won't just be the first Europeans on the moon. We will also be the first to ever fly. Get off me! What was that? Go, 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 go! Jack? Jack?
What the hell? Keelf? Boss? Come in.
Jack, it's me. Stop! Jack, it's me! No! God damn it! Keep it, you moron!
Why would you kill it? I want a shuttle up there for operations and forensics ASAP! Yes, sir!
In this video, I will break down how to create.
So, I mean, like, again, not perfect. There's a couple little things there. Actually, yes, that brain slug is from Invincible. He admits that in the video. He says that he was inspired by it. He did this one for fun. Yeah, this one was not that bad. This one has some decent voice work with it. You know, he talks about the editing process. He talks about everything that he went through in order to make it. I think that's kind of cool, right? Like, I think that's kind of neat because he's like, okay, like, this is him, you know, very much like kind of going through the process of it. And I think we're going to get, you know, I think we're going to get a lot more, you know, this kind of stuff as time goes on. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy watching some of the AI guys, because they just put out some really interesting shit. And, you know, they seem to just kind of be doing their own thing. I'm trying to find, here we go. This guy. All right. So, I've shown this guy before, and, you know, he's got some new shit that's going on. This is the guy that did that weird teddy bear one, like 7-minute video.
Electric colors flashing everything so bright. I wanna grasp be your mind.
Oh, bother. Here come the danglies. What in God's name are danglies?
Marvelous beasts.
It's likely they've smelled your wounds. They do love the taste of human flesh.
So this guy's got apparently more shit coming out on Friday. Let me see his YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel. Oh, he's also got a fucking, oh, God damn it, his Insta. I don't care about his Insta. I don't want his Insta. Was that a young Pedro Pascal, maybe? Yeah, it's kind of like a Macho Man Randy Savage, absolutely. It's really cool. I'm just gonna fucking Google his name because like he's got a YouTube channel with a lot of the stuff on it, and I don't like fucking with the Insta. Let's see. Okay, what does he got? All right, so okay, yeah, we'd watched this one here, the Satoshi Sunrise, like 7 minutes. This was fucking crazy. So yeah, he's working on some more shit. I don't know what's going on, but he's working on some more shit. So that's gonna be pretty fucking good. Let's see here. He's got this one here. I like this guy because he goes bonkers with shit.
Right now, inside a strand of glass thinner than your hair, light is thinking. At Xanadu, they don't compute with electrons. They compute with light. The same photons carrying the internet around the world right now, traveling at the speed of light, through glass, across oceans. At Xanadu, those photons aren't just the messenger, they're the computer. Every other quantum approach converts electrons to photons to move data, then converts back again. But this is noisy, lossy, and it barely works. Xanadu's idea from day one, why not just stay in the light? Last year, they networked 4 quantum computers together, published in Nature. That result could have been 400 racks. The networking problem solved. Room temperature, a fraction of the cooling infrastructure built on the same processes as your phone. A problem that takes them a year, Xanadu solves before lunch. Now that's how you build a quantum computer. We'll be right back.
Okay, that was actually pretty interesting. So yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of craziness going on. I don't really have anything. Here, what's this one here? Dr. Dreams is out here podcasting with a community building Resolve plugins to fix seed dance glitches. Oh, here we go.
Cut out that racket!
Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Anyway, let's see. It's 12:15. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day. I got to take my daughter to a doctor appointment tomorrow morning. She's finally, after all these months, we're able to finally get her in to go see a specialist tomorrow. So I got to make sure that I'm up in the morning. So yeah, I'll probably be on tomorrow night because I gotta work until Thursday. So we'll chill out. Thank you guys for hanging. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for the super chats, the support. If you guys haven't already, please like the stream. I'm going to try to get back to some regularly scheduled content. Just some videos and stuff to talk about. We'll see where it's summertime now, so things are just different. I'm just so busy with work. But all right, everybody, have yourself a great evening. Thank you again, and peace out.